Alabama, Don't Stop, Mississippi, Possum Point, Georgia, Miami.
Who's Amy?
Miami.
Hey, you mean your Amy?
Bo Hunkers.
Bo hookers?
Bo Hunkers.
Bo hunkers?
Oh, I beg your pardon. Hoboken.
Hoboken. Oh, well, Mr. Conductor, I want to go to Hot Town.
Hot Town?
Yes, sir.
That's the last stop.
Last-
All aboard.
All right, sir.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. It's Webfishing. Webfishing. Translation chan. Anyway, hi. We're playing some Webfishing today, and I'm gonna be reading some stories. It's gonna be a really chill stream. I hope you all just relax and have yourselves a good day. So let's get into it. How can I set this up? This should do. Play. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly, boop. I know that the music left for you guys, but I'm going to do this. Okay. Testing 1, 2. Fantastic. That's me. Let's read the quest board. We got some money, we don't have much of anything else. I had this urge to join someone else's, but where's my usual seaside usually go fish down by the seaside. It's this way. Yeah, it's this way. I mean, I didn't really think this through. I suppose I could go and find someone's server. Yeah, you know what? Give me a second. I'm gonna go and find someone's server. Quit and save to main menu. Play. Find server. Search for server. Boop, boop, boop. We'll try this one. If this is good, we'll stick with it. If not, we'll head out and go back to a solo game. Once again, check this out. Nothing? Okay. Yeah. Let's head over to our fishing area. I like to fish down by the seaside. We'll set up some fishing, and then I will start reading from the fishing storybook. And there's a player. Hi. How you doing? I don't know how to bark. Okay, let's do that. Boop. Okay, now then, right here, let's set up and then right here, let's set up boop. And then right here, okay, I think we're ready to go. Nice. Okay, and there we are. Oh, Parker Crafts asked me how my Christmas has been. Press enter to begin typing. You know what? I'm not gonna type. I'm not. Sorry, pal. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but I have fishing stories to tell. Such as beaching a billfish barehanded. That's today's story, is beaching a billfish barehanded. I feel like I could increase the game audio. Surprisingly, the game audio is at max. Oh, you caught a sea turtle. Surf's up. Settings, volume 35. Put that up to 60. Now I gotta find my page again. Beaching a billfish barehanded. Hayden McDowell vaulted from the sand and ran towards the shore. A mysterious fin had appeared 30 feet from shore, knifing through the water towards his roommate's dog in the surf. "I was sure it was a shark," McDowell said, and Steve's dog was out there. It all happened so fast I didn't have much time to think about it. You caught a huge herring. Huh, this isn't red. McDowell and his roommate, Steve Bailey, were living on Sullivan's Island, South Carolina, a small island near the entrance to Charleston Harbor. They had brought their dogs for a run along the beach when McDowell first saw the fin. "When I got to the water," said McDowell, "I saw it a second time and I knew it wasn't a shark. I was curious and kept walking out deeper and deeper. When I got into chest-high water, a fish swam right by me, kind of slow. That's when I saw the bill and got excited." "I figured it was a sailfish, so I just reached out and grabbed the fish by the tail." "You caught a large flounder." "Flounder? I hardly know her." "And I found a coin bag." As McDowell's fingers locked onto the base of the fish's tail, the startled creature lunged forward, pulling McDowell beneath the water. McDowell struggled to regain his balance, fighting to keep hold of the fish. He got a foothold in the sand and stood up, pulling the tail out of the water. "I knew as long as I kept its tail above water, I could control it. I had to walk backward and almost lost the fish once when the water rose above my chest, but I held on, and when I hit the beach, I was running." "Steve came over and helped me drag the fish up on the sand. That's when I started jumping up and down." "You caught an eel." "Eel? Eel? How lucky. You found a bonus coin bag." "I started jumping up and down. I kept yelling, 'It's a marlin! It's a marlin!'" McDowell and Bailey took the billfish by pickup truck to the neighboring Isle of Palms, where it was weighed and recorded by a representative of the local Game and Fish Department. The representative took measurements and tissue samples, and 2 days later announced a surprising discovery. The samples identified the fish not as a small white marlin, as they first thought, but as a healthy female longbill spearfish. It was a fish that had never been caught in South Carolina waters. The long spearfish weighed 38 pounds and measured 7 feet 2 inches. Yeah, I caught a small krill. 1 year later, a second longbill spearfish was caught off South Carolina, this time on rod and reel by angler Harry Johnson, confirming McDowell's claim to the discovery of a new species of game fish inhabiting the waters of South Carolina. That there is the story of the billfish. You caught a wolffish, a true alpha. Ooooh. Werewolves of London. Here's a story called Father-Son Pike Victory. "12-year-old Joe Miller sat on the grassy bank watching his fish bobber move with the breeze. It was mid-afternoon, and he was fishing with his dad and younger brother on Coeur d'Alene Lake near Post Falls, Idaho. Dead smelt dangled from the hook beneath the bobber. And
Minimi96 said, "Hey Tethercat, Merry Christmas, how's your day?"
Minimi, my day is actually pretty good. Merry Christmas to yourself as well. How are you doing on this fine holiday seasonal day? I'm playing web fishing, and I'm reading fishing stories. And I just started into the story of the father-son pike victory.
Minimi 96 said doing okay thanks.
That's fantastic. Glad to hear it. Boop. Young Joe hoped a hungry pike would swim by and gobble up his dead smelt dangling from the hook beneath the bobber. Joe had caught many small pike over the years, and he knew what to look for. Slow movement as the pike gently mouths the bait and moves away. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, he noticed his bobber drift off, then stop, then drift off again. I grabbed the fishing rod and yanked back hard, said Joe. The response was dead weight. It was so heavy. I thought maybe I was snagged on an old boot or something, but then he took off for the middle of the lake. The fish stayed out deep, refusing to budge. Oh, huge grouper. Joe hauled back against the weight. It was a standoff until finally the line began to come in inches at a time. Joe's dad reminded him to be patient and not to tighten the drag too much. It was the biggest fish Joe had ever hooked, and any misstep could be a disaster. Ooh, tense story. Huge clownfish. Rank 10. I had forgotten our net, said Joe. So finally, when the fish came into the shallow water, my dad waded in and grabbed it by the head. Pike have shark-like teeth, so he had to be careful. He got it onto shore, and we were amazed by its size. My dad had never seen such a large pike, and he thought it might be a record. The family hurried to the local tackle shop for a weight, but the first stop did not have a certified scale. They drove to a grocery store and placed the fish on the scales there. That pike weighed in at 32 pounds, 10 ounces. It was 4 feet long and measured 2 feet around the belly. It was my first really big pike. Not only was it Joe's first big pike, but the fish set an Idaho state record. I can't believe I set a record, and I don't know if I'll ever catch a pike that big ever again. But I know that without my dad there to grab it and haul it from the water, I'd never have landed it. And that's the story of the father-son pike grabbing by the head fishing story. Fantastic work. Way to go, young Joe. This is the Christmas stream, everybody. I mean, technically this is a server's ocean, but, you know, we're calling it the Christmas stream anyway. And we're going to go until our 6 remaining bait are taken care of. Here's a story. This story is called Wrestling a 1,600-pound hammerhead shark. Captain Jim Lewis was in the Bahama Islands enjoying a one-day break between fishing tournaments with his wife. Holly, his wife, and his friends Ronaldo Encinosa and Andy Gill. The host left the game. We'll get back to Randy and Andy and Holly and Espinosa in a moment. Pardon me while I See if we can find another server. That was fun. Looking for a server. Oh, I like this one. We'll try this one out. When we get in, we can cash in some of our items and go for loading up some bait. Yeah, I went out and had a holiday dinner for charity purposes. And I feel very good about having contributed to a worthy and noble cause on this day of all days. Wow, it's really taken its time, isn't it? I'll give it another couple of seconds, and if it doesn't load in, well, it's not loading in. Kaboop. Let's try that again. Yay. And let's see if we can find us a lobby. The last one didn't seem to work out too well. Let's see, where would no, that's not it. All right, well, that didn't work out in my favor. All right, let's try this lobby. I don't like normally going into large lobbies. Here's the funny thing is that web fishing, in essence, web fishing itself is all about meeting up with people and having conversations. Hey, we can claim our reward. Yes, please. Cosmetic Dude title reward. All right. Hooray. Cute. Still wouldn't mind getting a fishing hat. Hello, fox in the ground. Whoop. Let's, yeah, I think we can sell all our items. And let's restock our bait. Okay. I think we're ready to go. I really want to get back to our story time here. All right, put you here. And we'll put you here. Da, 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 da. No, I don't want to interact. Okay. Let's fish. Whoa. They be biting. Got a herring. Hooray. Okay, back to our story. Wrestling a 1,600-pound hammerhead shark. Captain Jim Lewis was in the Bahama Islands enjoying a one-day break between fishing tournaments with his wife, Holly, and friends Rolando and Sonoda and Andy Gill. It was early morning, and their destination was Great Harbor Cay, a snorkeler's paradise 50 miles to the north of Chub Cay. Can't even make up these names. They had been wrestling. They hadn't been wrestling. Maybe they had been wrestling. We don't know. I just kind of misread that a bit. Let's assume they were all wrestling. They were good, close friends. Let's assume they were wrestling. A new creature. You caught a coelacanth. Did you see it? I can't. How lucky you found a bonus coin bag as well. Good for me. They had been traveling only 20 minutes when Lewis spotted what looked like the tail section of a small plane rising 2 to 3 feet above the water. Veering in for a closer look, they saw the mysterious tail section move and disappear beneath the water. Ensenada throttled the boat to full speed as Lewis ran to the bow and peered down into the clear water. They're going to try and catch themselves a plane, those wrestlers. Don't let this distract you that... Never mind. Hey, seahorse. 15 feet below, swimming along the bottom of a narrow channel, was a huge hammerhead shark. Whoa! That guy got a big fish. I got me a small fish, and I'm happy. It's a huge flounder. Toss me a mask, Lewis yelled. I'm going in. An experienced open water diver, Lewis was confident that the swift current flowing through the narrow channel would confine the shark's movements. He slipped on the mask, clutched a short Hawaiian sling, and plunged into the water. The shark was enormous, Lewis said afterwards, and he knew I was there. He would turn his head and roll his eyes back just to see me. As his confidence mounted, Lewis dove deeper to study the shark. During one of his descents, he counted 19 remora clinging to the shark's body and noticed several half-moon gaff scars along its side and back. The hammerhead was an old shark that had felt the sting of a hook many times before. Ah, frightening, isn't it? Terrifying. Lewis desperately wanted to hook this shark, but all his fishing gear was in Chub Cay. Isn't that always the case? Only snorkel equipment was readily available, and the Hawaiian sling, a 3-prong hand spear propelled by a wristband. I knew my only chance was a shot in the gills, Lewis said. The range of the sling was only 5 or 6 feet, so I had to get close. Still, I didn't know if it would be enough to stop the shark. Lewis took a deep breath and kicked it downward. His heart raced as he cocked the rubber band. He swam as close as he dared and fired. It was a perfect shot. The shark lunged toward Lewis, but was weakened from the shot, and the strong current allowed Lewis time to reach the surface safely. We'll pause it there while I go and grab some more bait. Yay! Let's take a look at our... well, we caught a flounder in this one. That's nice. And over here, we got a new creature. We caught a crab. Aw, arg! Crab battle. Crab battle. There's our foxy friend. Let's restock with crickets. First, let's sell everything, including the koala canathanant. And we'll restock on crickets. Thank you. Oop. Yay. Yay. Alright, let me get prepared for our next story. And now the continuation of wrestling a 1,600-pound shark. Lewis was able to reach the surface easily. He climbed onto the boat and hurried to the bow. But the shark was swimming faster than before, blood streaming from its gills. Espinosa said, "What are you going to do now, Tarzan?" An interesting phrase. I don't know why he would ask that way. Lewis didn't answer because Lewis was not a jackass. The channel was getting deeper and would soon empty into open sea. He uncleated the grapple anchor and its 30 feet of chain, and he yelled for Espinosa to drive ahead of the shark. It was all we had that resembled a hook, Lewis explained. Roland drove ahead of the shark, and I threw out the anchor and let it sink to the bottom. When the shark swam by, I tried to snag him with it. But to snag a shark with an anchor proved nearly impossible. Holly, the wife, counted the attempts. On the 36th try, the shark jerked its head sideways and lunged at the anchor. Lewis pulled back, and miraculously the anchor slipped into the shark's wounded gill. Lewis held the chain, and Espinosa, the jackass that he is, put the engines into neutral. The shark fought valiantly, towing the boat along the channel, but eventually the wounded shark tired, and Lewis was able to haul it to the boat. Holly and Gil rushed to lasso the shark's huge tail. Suddenly, the hammerhead came to life, spinning dangerously alongside the boat. The powerful tail spun like a propeller, slapping Gil back across the deck and into the console where he lay stunned on the floor. My, what a turn of this tale. Said Lewis, "It was a crucial moment. The shark was alive, and we didn't have a gun on board, so we had to ground him." They pulled the shark into shallow water near one of the flats and waited. When he could approach safely, Lewis loosened the tail rope and wrapped it around the shark's head for the trip back to Chub K. I'm not going to get sick of that name, I'll tell you that, kids. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the small boat pulled up to the crowded dock. Onlookers watched as the shark was slowly raised from the largest scale in Chub K. But before the shark was fully aloft, the scale, reading 1,100 pounds, jammed and broke. Fortunately, oh so fortunately, members of a University of Miami marine research team visiting Chub K were in the crowd. The marine biologist asked to take samples from the shark and offered to weigh it scientifically. They offered to weigh it scientifically. Lewis gladly accepted that offer. The shark was a great hammerhead that measured 15 feet, 6 inches, and had a girth of 10 feet, 3 inches. It weighed an incredible 1,475 pounds. The team from Miami also examined the catch from head to tail. In the roof of the shark's mouth, they counted 19 stingray barbs, while in its bulging belly they found a 110-pound lemon shark. The lemon shark was freshly eaten, sliced cleanly in half, and when added to the shark's weight, pushed the final tally to nearly 1,600 pounds, more than 600 pounds over the current all-tackle world record. Congratulations, Lewis. Congratulations. And I think we'll schedule us a hydration check as soon as I reel in this next catch. Small flounder, hydration check.
Tethercat said hydration check.
Darn tootin', Tethercat said hydration check. Okay, now then. Let's see. You know, it's been 365 days since I last received this book. And not since I last received it, since I first received it. It was last Christmas that I was gifted this book, as well as some fishing socks, which, had I been thinking, had I known I was going to play this game tonight, I would have worn my fishing socks. Unfortunately, I have not taken them out of their packaging. They're very, very treasured keepsakes. People knowing that my streams involving fishing with Terraria and now web fishing of all things, people know that I do love me some video game fishing. You caught a wolffish, a true alpha. Awoo. And while I have not broken out the fishing socks yet, this book has served me well. The Girl with the Golden Lure. During her first big game fishing trip, Heidi Mason landed a 53-pound sailfish off the coast of Florida. She was 7 years old. At age 11, she caught a 308-pound hammerhead shark. And during that same year, she released more than 25 sailfish, 11 of which were caught on an 8-pound test fishing line. She's also won or placed in almost every category of catch and release in Florida's largest fishing tournament, the annual MET, Metropolitan South Florida, including Top Angler 5 out of her first 6 years as a competitor. At age 13, Mason was awarded Junior Master Angler in the tournament, and in the process landed her second world record fish. Toward the end of the MET, Mason said, Captain John Dudas took me and my father out to try and catch a winning fish. We decided to target amberjack, which, if I could catch and release enough of them, would give me the category for most releases. Captain Dudas took Mason and her father to a wreck off Biscayne Bay. The fishing was good from the start, and the amberjack stayed hungry all day. Mason, who wanted to quickly release as many amberjack as she could, was using heavy tackle, including an 80-pound test line to help combat the strong currents. Toward the end of the day, she decided to change gear and drop to light tackle, her standard 8-pound test. I had been catching amberjack all day, she said, so when the big one hit, I was surprised by its strength. The fish was headed straight for the wreck, and I didn't think I could stop it, but Captain Dudas was already moving the boat to help me as I pulled as hard as I could to turn that fish. That's nice. Someone playing guitar next to me. The tandem effort worked, and soon the battle became a test of endurance. Mason worked the fish halfway to the boat before the brute swam toward the seafloor, stripping away the line again and again. An hour passed before the fish finally tired. As it surfaced, Mason saw that instead of an amberjack, she was fighting an enormous African pompano. The fish was so large, she knew if she could land it, she would win first place in the tournament. Moments later, the fish was brought aboard to jubilation at her anticipated tournament win. It wasn't until the next day, said Mason, that I realized the fish was a world record. I'd been looking at the world record book, and I saw that my fish weighed 34 more pounds than the record. Luckily, we had weighed the pompano on a certified scale and had taken lots of photos for the MET tournament. Wait, for the MET tournament? Let me just go back for a moment. The tournament is called the Metropolitan South Florida MET. Interesting. I was just wondering if it was called the MET tournament. That's all I was curious about. The record pompano was qualified. The record pompano also qualified Mason for the Offshore Grand Champion Award for the third year in a row. And then, just 2 years later, Mason became the youngest angler in MET history to win the acclaimed Master Angler Award. The feat is even more impressive because Mason was competing against 20,000 entries, representing more than 40 states and 12 foreign countries. Mason would go on to win more and more tournaments. She landed her third world record, a 463-pound hammerhead shark, on stand-up gear. Her fourth world record was a 60-pound cobia caught on 8-pound test line off Miami, Florida. That battle lasted 3.5 hours. Her mother explained when Heidi was a baby, we had a huge mount of a hammerhead shark on the wall next to her changing table. Wait, what? Every time we changed her, she stared up at that shark. She was destined to catch the big fish, says Heidi's mom. And that's the tale of the girl with the golden lure. And how, when she was being changed as a child, her parents had mounted a huge hammerhead shark face right above where she was associating diaper changes with gigantic, scary fish faces. You know, in some corners of the internet, that's how tales are born. Thanks, Heidi of South Florida. Why does that not surprise me? It's a Florida thing, right? That doesn't surprise me in the least. At least it wasn't a depressing story. It was just a story about a kid who got changed under a giant dead fish. Here's a story called Triple Play. Oh, we've only got one remaining bait left, so let's cast this last line and then we'll go and refresh our bait. Hello, stranger. The efficient lure saved your bait. This game, Webfishing. Ooh. I got a tiny microscopic fishing quest. Congratulations, me. I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I like how there's background things. Things happening in the background. That's kind of nice. Oh, that's what I was going to say, is that this game has music. And the music is very, very calming. But for some inexplicable reason... Actually, let me... increase the music even a little more. I got it at... I thought I put it to 60. Confirm and apply. Ah, I closed last time, that's why. Alright, let's take a look at our bait. There we go, that audio's a little better. Hooray. We'll take a look at our bait. A new creature. You caught a huge guppy. Guess you're a guppy puppy. Yes, I'm a guppy puppy. How's it going, buddy? Yes? Can I help you? Are you literate? I mean, I'm not illiterate, if that's what you're asking. I'm just gonna go and, sell all my itemies. Kaboop. And get me some crickets. Kaboop. Hooray. I'm not gonna tell him that I'm a writer. If these people are smart enough, if these cats are smart enough, they'll realize that they can tune into this stream and hear me reading fishing stories. Triple play. It was late on a Friday afternoon when Billy Joel Hall headed out for recon at the Lake Chickamauga just outside Dayton, Tennessee. He was looking for largemouth bass. There was a catch and release bass fishing tournament starting the next morning, and he was doing research. So we checked the sandbars. All said and spotted Let me try that one again. So we checked the sandbars, Hall said, and spotted lots of little bass. And that's where we planned to start fishing in the morning. Early Saturday morning, Hall arrived at his sandbar and started fishing the slate-colored shallows. The sky was clear, and the rising sun soon skipped coins of light off the mirrored surface. Cast after cast, however, resulted in nothing but empty water. Then, off in the distance, he spotted a large shad-free jump, soar through the air, and land on the bank. Hall reeled in his DD22 crankbait and let it fly. I'd seen a wake behind that shad, Hall explained, so I knew a fish had been chasing it. I had cranked my lure 8 or 10 times when a bass loaded on and ran for a bit. And then it just bogged down the line. It just bogged down like the line had wrapped a log or something. Hall worked the mysterious weight back to the boat, and he noticed a large shadow appear beneath his lure. He would soon discover that it was a school of bass following his mysterious catch. Said Hall, the water was clear, and as I reeled a little more, we saw a grouping of 3 bass hooked to my lure. It was unbelievable. Every hook had a big bass on it. I told my buddy to try and net at least 2 of them. Holy crap, look at this. His buddy did better than that. All 3 bass were boated, and each weighed an impressive 5 to 6 pounds. You got a new creature. You got a squid. It's a true alien. Hooray. Yay. Yay. Those other bass that followed my 3 fish to the boat had hung around. So as my buddy loaded the fish into the live well, I grabbed another rod and cast a spinner bait and got another one. The tournament limit was 8 fish, and so we kept fishing and landed a total of 7 fish there. It was some of the best fishing you could imagine. Eventually, the bite slowed, so we moved on and caught our 8th at another spot. By the time we made it to the scales, 2 of the fish had died, and we were penalized a pound for each. Still, we won the tournament by a long shot with 46.5 pounds of bass. Hall, who not long after was diagnosed with cancer, remembers that day fondly. I beat the odds that day, and then, with the good Lord looking over me, I beat the odds again. While it may have been divine intervention that led to Hall's recovery, we got a huge hammerhead shark. Guess you hit the nail on the head. Yay. While it may have been divine intervention that led to Hall's recovery, there can be no doubt that landing a 3 6-pound largemouth bass on a single lure was a fishing miracle. What a nice Christmas story about cancer and a fishing miracle. That's what Christmas is all about, friends. Reading about miracles, divine intervention on this day, and especially for that man with cancer. It's all part of the plan. I'm pretty sure that it was all part of the plan. Divine intervention. A Christmas miracle. That man with cancer. Let's see what other stories we got in here. Sword from the surf. Marco Ehrenberg and his friend Victor Gutierrez were cruising in a Jeep along Baja California's La Paz Malecon, a beautiful bayside walkway famous for its sunsets. Oh, I guess I didn't click. It was mid-afternoon, and locals and tourists were milling about enjoying the bay breeze. I saw splashes near shore, Marco explained, and I thought it was a dolphin. Then I thought it was a shark. I told Victor to stop the car. Marco leapt from the passenger seat and raced into the water. He waded into the calm, shallow bay and swam out to grab the fish by the tail. That's when I thought maybe I had made a mistake. Ooh, the story has just turned dark. The fish turned and slashed its bill across his knee. He caught a massive swordfish. Master duelist. The fish turned and slashed its bill across his knee. It was a swordfish. Marco fell back, still holding the tail, while the momentum pushed the two towards shore. Said Marco, I probably should have let go, but I was young, and I didn't know how dangerous this was. I had a big fish by the tail, and it was going crazy, and I just held on. A nearby local fisherman saw Marco struggling with the fish and tossed him a fish bat with a bent nail that served as a makeshift gaff. Fish bat. Fish bat with a bent nail. Merry Christmas, everybody. Marco lunged with the weapon, but the fish was too big. A new creature. You caught a weed. I caught a snag. Everything was happening so fast, and I was very lucky. The swordfish was disoriented, and we were moving into the shallow rocks. The people on the Malecon were cheering me on. I had hold of the fish and wanted to land it, so I used a rock to subdue it. And then Victor helped me haul it up to the beach. I wonder if the rock had a bent nail. My knee was hurting. Oh. The swordfish was carried to the Jeep and placed into the back seat, where it was so long that both its tail and its sword stuck out on the sides. My knee was hurting, but I didn't care. I'd caught a 120-pound swordfish with my bare hands. My friend's mom lived nearby, so we took the swordfish to her house, and she made enough swordfish meatballs to feed family and friends for weeks. They were the best meatballs I've ever eaten. Before the fish was cleaned, a local reporter heard about the story and raced out for photos and an interview. He titled his story, "Two Men Risk Their Lives for a Swordfish." As Marco recalls, I guess in a way we did. My knee was sore for a long time, and looking back, I now know how dangerous a swordfish bill can be. But at the time, I didn't even think about it. We were lucky. Everything went right that day. The fish pushed me towards shore back, instead of back towards the deeper water. The fisherman who came along with the homemade gaff and the loose rocks that I could use to end the fight. I was lucky that fish didn't hurt me. A lot worse. That's the tale of a person who used a fish bat. See, this stream is educational. I'm going to go back to the vending machine and see if I can purchase a fish bat with a bent nail. If I can't purchase a fish bat with a bent nail, I'm going to ask the developer if I can purchase a fish bat with a bent nail. I think that web fishing, the video game, could only be improved if all players had access to a fish bat with a bent nail. One of the greatest strengths of this game is its ability to relax, decompress, and arm one's self with a fish bat with a bent nail. The fish bat is the fisherman's best friend. I'm going to take a fish bat with a bent nail to my next catch. You caught a microscopic herring. It's fish bat time. All right, let's let's take a pause on the fish bat. You caught a large whale. Holy shit! What? Wait, I got a large whale in that little bucket. More specifically, this tiny little frog caught a large whale in this small bucket. Yay! Well, can you beat a 4,000 centimeter whale? Oh, he got an axolotl. You know what? I consider these both wins.
Minimi96 said great job.
Oh, don't say great job to me. I would have taken a fish bat to it. This little frog here, he did all the work. Everybody, big round of applause for this little frog. That little frog has more gumption, more dedication to the art of fishing than I ever will. Catching a 3,996 centimeter whale in a bucket. Look at the size of this bucket, everybody. Look at that bucket. That bucket caught a whale. That's a fishing story. Kind of makes me wish I was recording this on a live stream, because I don't think anyone would ever believe that fishing tale. I bet the girl with the golden lure is envious. Why are there flies coming out of this trash can? People should change that trash can more often. Where's the park and rec? Oh yeah, we're going back. We're not going there. Caught us a whale. In a bucket. That frog is the Tony Stark of web fishing. All right, let's read the quest board. Well, catch a whale. We got 25 bucks for catching a whale and 50 bucks for catching a seahorse. Wow. Looks like we got priorities. I'm not going to claim any of the rewards at the moment. I want to see what we got. What do we get? Open props, open tackle box, open backpack. Did we get a saltwater whale? Yes, we got a saltwater whale. A Ballanoptera musculus. 3,669 centimeters. Good job, us. Oh, that was a saltwater whale. My bad. Weed. We got a dude title. Dude. Scout. Little lad. Critter. Kind of like dude. I feel like dude. I feel like I am a dude. Okay. Inventory. We're good that way. Creatures. There's our whale. It's worth $255. Good job, us. Good job. All right, well, let's yeah, let's cash in. And we'll start claiming our rewards for quests. Second class. Second class. Second class. Cosmetic chewer. Ancient title. Shocked. Scribble. I think we got a whole bunch of items on that one. Well, there's our eyes. Currently we're on the spiral eyes, which I love. That's a scribble. Currently we're on the cat nose, but ew, we're not going that way. Whiskers. No, I do not want whiskers. And finally for mouth. We have the standard cat mouth, but we also have chewing and shocked. Oh, no, standard cat mouth it is. I'm comfortable with all of these selections. All right. I believe we sold all of our fish, or we're going to, including the whale. You know what? Last time we were in anywhere, we put an octopus in an aquarium, and I feel good about that. Last time we played the game, we put an octopus in the aquarium. Well, the huge squid, Dosidius gigas, is $256. The whale caught in the bucket is $255. Once again, the world is full of injustice. I want to put this guy back in the water. So I'm going to sell everyone except the octopus. And I'm going to get some more crickets. And now, I'm going to see if I can put that octopus back in the water. Can I? I don't know. The game doesn't have a fish bat with a bent nail. So I can't trust that this game is accurate to real life. Because let's face it, this game is known for its accuracy. In slot number 4, host left the game. Gosh darn it. Ah well. Let's take another hydration check, everybody.
Tethercat said hydration check.
And then we'll get back to more reading stories once we get settled in. Welcome to the Christmas stream. It's 10 minutes past the top of the hour. I hope everyone's enjoying the Christmas stream. I should really fish on a stream. Alright, let's remove that for the moment, and we'll take a look and see if we can find a server. We'll hop right back into that very shortly. Let's see, do we have anything here? Cute. You know what? We're going to start our own offline and solo game. Hi. Tethercat. Dude. Looks like we still got our octopus over there in number 4. That's a good sign. Can we put our octopus inside the aquarium? Or is there an octopus inside the aquarium? Let's find out. There's an octopus inside the aquarium. Well, that solves that. I have eaten a lot in the past 48 hours. My stomach is incredibly full from last night's meal, from this morning's meal, and from tonight's meal. And yet, and I say this, and yet, I have an absolute craving for cake at the moment. I would love to dive into some cake. My friend, I am setting you free. My friend, I am setting you free. My friend, I am... My friend, My friend, you're going back in the backpack. Back in you go. No fish for you. Yay. The best laid intentions, right? So that was our freshwater bucket. This here is our saltwater bucket. Remember, saltwater bucket, this guy right here. This guy. He caught himself a whale. We're proud of him. Well, that happened. Yay! Yay! Uh-oh. Alright, now then, let's do some web fishing, everybody. And there's going to be no background distractions. I couldn't find a good public server, so I chose this one. Oh look, it's raining. It's raining. We caught a new creature. We caught a branch. That guy got a whale in a bucket, and we got a branch. I'm not one to be envious. I'm just going to tell you right now that if I had a fish bat with a bent nail, that individual would not be having a branch. Feet on the shore. What? Marlin on the line. Oh, cool. I might get struck down by lightning. Remember, kids, don't hold metal while standing in water. Don't stand near metal. Don't be doing anything what I do when a thunderstorm arrives. Feet on the shore. Marlin on the line. Vicky Lear stared across the canvas of deep water as she fished from the rocks of Jervis Bay, New South Wales, Australia. It was January 5th, 1999, and she was the only woman angler on the cliff. That wasn't unusual. In fact, since she started fishing the prolific bay back in 1992, she'd yet to see another female angler. In my 20-odd years of fishing, Lear said, I have seen the numbers of women grow in the sport, but at a very slow pace. From 1 to 2 ladies in a tournament, now it's often 4 or more. And the same goes for fishing club attendance. Lear is certainly doing her part as well. Sponsored by many of the biggest names in fishing gear, Lear regularly competes in tournaments, writes articles for fishing magazines, and is a regular contributor to the website lureandfly.com. She's also done what no other female angler has done before. Uh-oh, look at this. What am I catching here? You caught a huge lionfish. All right. I ain't calling you a truther. You can. I ain't, but you can. Vicky Lear broke a decades-old women's tournament record for striped marlin on 8-kilogram test line or 17-pound test line by landing an 81-kilo or 179-pound striped marlin to win the Port Stephens, New South Wales tournament. She's also the only woman to land a black marlin from shore using stand-up gear and 10-kilogram test line or 22-pound test. It's an area known as the Tubes, she explained, named after an old torpedo tube from back in the war days. It's a popular fishing spot because it's accessible through a bush track that's been cut from the parking lot. Popular, but not your typical shoreline for surf fishing. The trek from the parking lot winds through groves of red bloodwood trees and dense shrubs and sedges. At this point, I would just like to point out to our listeners to this channel that in Australia, some of the trees are known as bloodwood. In Australia, they have bloodwood trees. Because Australia. I don't think this is going to come as any surprise to anybody who's ever been, visited, or heard stories of Australia, that their trees are called bloodwood. Sandstone plateaus descend to rocky precipices that are severe in places and where the water drops into deep, powerful currents. The fishing, however, can be spectacular. Many large pelagic species migrate into the deep water bay, everything from kingfish to yellowfin tuna and black marlin. And when the bite is hot, the crowds can make the already treacherous fishing chaotic with tangles, snags, and broken fishing lines. Usually there are up to a dozen or so people fishing, said Lear. But if the fishing's good, there can be up to 40 lines in the water. To avoid crossing lines and tangled gear, anglers have devised an unwritten system similar to surfers lining up for a swell. At each prime location, one angler deploys his bait beneath a balloon that serves as a bobber-like sail, taking the bait far beyond casting distance with the wind and current. The idea is to get the drifting bait past the drop-off. As the drift heads out, the next angler will deploy their live bait, and so on. If there is difficulty with the bait not drifting in the right location, a tangler with another angler. A tangle with another angler. Or, if it is suspected the bait is not swimming correctly, the angler will reel in and move back to the back of the lineup. It works really well, said Lear. The day I caught my marlin, I'd been to the back of the line a couple of times. When her turn came around again, Lear grabbed a mackerel from the inflatable kid's swimming pool she'd filled by bucketing water from the shore. The pool was fitted with an aerator to keep the bait lively, one of which she pinned to a 7/0 hook. She was using a big game rod, a Shimano Beastmaster reel, and a length of 80-pound leader. I mean, it's no fish bat with a nail, but... She rigged a balloon to the swivel and sent the contraption floating with the wind and current. You hope the bait gets out to where the fish are, she said. And then you hope the marlin doesn't take you too far out or into Eddie's Rock. The week before, Lear had lost an estimated 100-pound marlin to an anchor line far out in the bay when the fish took too much time in a blistering first run. This time, however, Lear's marlin avoided the boats, fishing the outer bay, and instead headed straight for Eddie's Rock. That's true. She hooked a marlin quickly, but just as fast, Lear tells it. It started greyhounding towards the rock, which has broken off countless fish over the years, so I loosened the drag to try and turn it without getting a backlash on the reel. The strategy worked, and for the next 20 minutes, Lear carefully worked the marlin to the rock shore. As the fish closed in, other anglers worked their way to the lowest ledge of rock and readied the gaff. I could tell it was small, and normally I wouldn't take a small marlin, but this was my first and only marlin caught from the rocks, and the fish was wiped out. That's another thing about fishing the rocks at Jervis Bay. Without a boat... Sorry, I'm Canadian. Without a boat backing down on the fish, it's a much longer fight, and the marlin come in nearly dead. We had one guy go into the water with a marlin to try and revive it. He swam that fish out into the currents for an hour, but it didn't work. Lear's fish was hauled back to her car and taken to the Currarong Bowling Club, where the fish weighed in at 21 kilograms or 46 pounds. She had it mounted, and today it hangs proudly from a wall in her home. My husband caught a marlin from the rocks on a different trip, and that one weighed 68 kilos, or 150 pounds. But we haven't been back since. It was something I always wanted to do, and once I did it, I moved on to other kinds of fishing. And most likely, more records and tournament wins for this talented and prolific angler. She was an angler. On today's stream, we've learned that a gaff can be constructed from a baseball bat. This fills me with so much unanticipated glee. We've learned a few things about Christmas on this stream. We've learned about divine intervention. We've heard a story of divine intervention on this Christmas day. And we've learned that makeshift gaffs can be made out of fish bats with bent nails. A Tethercat stream is always an educational stream. Alright, I gotta do something here. Bear with me, everybody. Bear with me, and please, by all means, enjoy the scenery set before you. Where is that? Where is that? Where did I put that? Where is that? I'm going to borrow something from a friend. What I'm doing right now, I'm going to borrow something from a friend of mine. Actually, I'm just going to set the rod. I'm just going to set the rod off to the side here. And let's just set the rod off to the side. Can we do that? Yeah, there we go. setting the rod off to the side. That looks nice right there, doesn't it? I think so. There we go. And I'm gonna grab something here. Like I say, I'm gonna borrow this from a friend. That's a fishing bat that I'm borrowing from a certain friend of mine. You can tell that the I mean, let's just look at that right there. I'm gonna borrow this from a friend of mine. It's a fishing bat, and it's got a bent nail. I'm definitely gonna use it for this stream. So yeah, let's put that there. Grab this like this. Excellent. Now we're set for the next phase of this game. You know what? I can't. I can't. I want to, but I can't. So I want to, but I can't. So I'm going to do this. Oh, that's much better. There we go. That's yeah. Perfect. That's what I wanted to see. All right. Now that I've got my fishing bat, I'm so glad that inadvertently a friend of mine had a fishing bat. The stream just got a lot more entertaining, everybody. All right. Back to the game. Okay. It's a Christmas miracle. Let's see what other stories we got here, everybody. Gonna have to thank my friend for the loan. It's not mine. A friend of mine had this. Our next story is called Record of Steel. And actually, I think I'm gonna do another thing. I'm gonna try and find another server again. So we're gonna pause it, and then I'll see if I can find another server once again. Because I kind of liked having those people in the background. They made for a pleasant distraction. La la la. Well, we'll try this one. I don't know that this is going to succeed or not. I honestly, and I couldn't genuinely. Oh, what's this say? There's lag. Calico and anti-lag optimization modes may be required to play on this server. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of lag on this server. So I think I'm gonna escape out. There's a lot of lag on that server. And we'll find another place. Let's try this one. There's a lot of lag on that last server. There we go. Might as well stock up on some bait. Hello, everybody. Kaboop. Yay. Fantastic. Ah, this is as good a place as any. Let's just set it off to the side a little more this way. Now I'll put a bucket right here. Now I'll put a different bucket right here. Let's looks pretty good. Hi, how you doing? All right, now then. Well, it looks like I wasn't able to. Apparently, this guy's trying to punch me into the water. They don't want me in here. That's fine. Ah, they don't want me in here, so that's fine. That's fine. I won't begrudge them further. They clearly meant to make that a private friends-only server. It's Christmas. That'll learn them. Alright, let's try this one. Can't say I'm hopeful, but we'll see how it goes. Howdy. And apparently we've learned now that people can punch you in this game. This game has everything, doesn't it? Well, they missed the majesty of seeing a whale caught in a bucket. That's on their loss. They can catch the VOD. Just like everyone else. Alright. On with the next story. Record of steel. On a typical summer day off Bell Island, Alaska, 8-year-old David White and his family were fishing from an inflatable dinghy at 6 o'clock in the evening. The fishing had been slow, so White ignored his dad's instructions and dropped his bait to the bottom, where it kept snagging on rocks. My dad had already freed 3 or 4 of my snags, White said, and he was getting frustrated. He warned me that if it happened again, I'd be in deep trouble. Holy crap, look at this. I don't know what I'm catching here, but ought to be good. I caught a shiny large marlin. Something, something marlin, it's shining. Nice. I got me a shining large marlin. Yay. Even though I was scared, I dropped my bait down deep again. Suddenly, White's rod slumped forward again, moving slowly, just as it had on the previous snags. I started letting line out so I wouldn't get in trouble. My dad saw me, and his face got red. He was really mad. I told him I thought I had a fish, but he could see how slow the line was moving. As he stopped the boat, my line shot across the water. I shouted that I had something. My brothers reeled in their lines, and my dad killed the engine. Everyone watched as the fish raced at least 100 yards out to sea, and then started jumping. The fish was so far away that it looked small. It also fought just like the salmon they had caught earlier on the trip. Only this fish was stronger. Each time White reeled in the line, the fish took it away. When it was about halfway to the boat, it jumped again, and we saw how big it was. We couldn't believe it. It was the largest fish any of them had ever hooked. It charged deep. It surfaced and sulked, then sounded again. It circled the boat in great bursts of speed. Then, without warning, the line slackened. White reeled frantically, tears welling in his eyes. I felt the line go dead, and I thought for sure the fish was gone. Ooh, I caught a golden manta ray. What a catch. I reeled as fast as I could, and I saw this shadow in the water that looked like a submarine. It was huge, and it surfaced about 10 feet from the boat. Then it slowly drifted away, and my line followed it. I was still hooked up. White pulled with all his remaining strength. His dad readied the net and dipped it gently into the water. White carefully guided it, his line, toward the net. We learned later that the fish couldn't see the net. It had so many scars on its face, and it had lost an eye. It was old, which is probably why we got it on the first try. But it definitely had more fight left, because when it hit the net, it went nuts. Water was flying everywhere. White's dad hauled the catch aboard, where it flopped dangerously around the boat. You creature, you caught a soda can. Yuck, who put this in here? White and his brother dove on top of it, pinning it with their arms and legs. It was now 10 o'clock at night. The scales were still open, and the fish was hoisted into the air. creature. You caught a huge man of war. Okay, you should probably not be holding this. Cute. The fish weighed in at 42 pounds and 42 pounds and 2 ounces. The weighmaster placed it in the freezer, where it was flash frozen. Weeks later, it was sent to a taxidermist in Seattle, Washington. While curing the skin, the taxidermist noticed that the pattern resembled a steelhead rather than a salmon as first suspected. The fish was quickly sent to the University of Washington, where the founder of the fisheries department, Dr. Lauren Donaldson, confirmed the taxidermist's suspicions. White's parents took the finding and submitted the catch to the International Game Fish Association, where the fish was qualified as a world record. It was the largest steelhead ever caught on rod and reel. I was just a little kid, White recalled. I didn't care what kind of fish it was, but when they told me it was a world record, I was the happiest kid around. Aw. Another Christmas miracle. Divine intervention, as one individual would call it. Divine intervention. We're going to keep playing this for a little bit longer. I'm going to play it till the top of the hour. Let's call for a hydration check. How's that sound? Let's do a hydration check, everybody.
Tethercat said hydration check.
Oh, it's too cute. Makes me so happy. Unintentionally, you know what dawns on me? Tonight, I think I mentioned this at the start of the stream. Tonight, I went and had a fish dinner. It was actually a charity dinner. I caught a marlin. That little green guy again, he caught a marlin. Good job, buddy. This guy got a new creature. He caught a small frog. Cozy staple. I think that's actually probably someone he knows. Interact. This buddy is empty. Interact. This buddy is empty. Okay. Thanks, buddies. I went and for Christmas dinner, I went to a restaurant and had a fish dinner. Tonight, I ate haddock with tartar sauce and a side of fries, and it was very good. Let's not sell any of this. Let's head back to our quest board. So I think that subconsciously, having had a fish dinner, I believe that might have been an influence to why I wanted to play web fishing tonight. You can claim this reward, and this reward, and this one. We ranked up to rank 12. Cosmetic Stitch unlocked. Cosmetic title for people who only caught the super duper rare ray. Huh. Miscellaneous. The title for people who caught the super duper rare golden ray title. That'll be ours. That's our new title. Now let's take a look at what new faces we have. We just have a mouth and it's a stitch. No thanks. I'm good with what we have. Thank you. Alright, let's go sell our fish. And once we sell our fish, we'll restock our bait. I heard voices. There's someone. Alright, that's cute. I don't know how to make cat noises, but that guy was cute. So we're going to restock our bait. One of our buddies caught something. Let's see what one of our buddies caught, shall we? What did you catch there, little guy? A small salmon. Good job, buddy. And we're going to sell all, including the $300 golden manta ray. Actually, I don't want to sell the $300 golden manta ray. I think I want to take that manta ray and... I want to take that manta ray and I want to put it in some sort of a safe spot. Where that is, I don't know. Let's just put it in spot number 4. Nice. All right. And I think that's going to be our stream. So I want to thank everyone for watching. It was a great time. I'm glad that we all had this opportunity to hang out, learn about divine intervention. Learn about fish bats. And learn about true Christmas miracles. On that note, everybody, we're going to end the stream. I hope everyone has a very pleasant remainder of the evening. Y'all take care. Y'all stay safe. Remember, in 1 week's time, it's going to be the end of this year, and in just a little bit longer, it'll be the start of the new year. Have yourselves a good night, everybody. Take care. Thanks for watching.
Tethercat said thanks for watching. Tethercat said _carrot.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Glory and what is all that noise? Hallelujah.
believe that's Mr. Teagard. Hey, what you doing up here, man? Last time I saw you, you were saying fare thee well to Harlem.
I done been where I was going, and I ain't going there no more.
You sure come back the right time. It's Christmas up here.
What do you mean up there? It's Christmas everywhere.
Yeah, but it ain't no Christmas like Christmas in Harlem.
No.
Every gal strutting with her bow through the streets covered white with snow. Happy smiles everywhere you go. Christmas night in Harlem.
Black and tan feeling mighty good in that old colored neighborhood. Here and now, be it understood, Christmas night in Harlem.
Everyone is gonna sit up until after 3. Everyone will be all lit up like a Christmas tree.
Come on now, every cold Black Joe, greet your sweet neath the mistletoe with a kiss and a hidey-ho. Christmas night in Harlem.
Hee-hee, man. Dog, what did Santa Claus leave in your stocking?
Let me see. There's an orange, a jar of kink out, and man, look at that slide trombone. Ain't it pretty?
Yeah, but it might not sound so pretty. Let me hear you toot it.
Mr. Murder, I'm glad to be back in this festivity.
Ah, you said it, Mr. T. It's Christmas night in Harlem.
When it's Christmas night in Harlem,
Man, you drew the bib full.